Trinidad and Tobago's sole remaining representative in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup, Defence Force took the first step towards a final berth when they faced Jamaica's Mount Pleasant FC in the semi-final first leg. The Tetron Men and the unbeaten Mount Pleasant clashed on Wednesday at the Hasely Crawford Stadium.
The reigning Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League champions, the Defence Force, who under the floodlights in Port of Spain were raring to go in the home first leg of the Concacaf Caribbean Cup semi-finals. In their way were Mount Pleasant FC, who are yet to lose a match in the tournament, while boasting the best defensive record. Mount Pleasant didn't waste time. A give-and-go between Daniel Green and Warner Brown in the penalty area resulted in Brown slipping the ball past Defence Force goalkeeper Christopher Biggett. It was initially disallowed for offside, but after review by the officials, the goal was sanctioned. 1-0 Mount Pleasant. It was the combination of Green and Brown that struck again as Brown scored minutes later, but this time Brown was denied for being offside. Defence Force couldn't withstand the Mount Pleasant pressure. Experienced defender Sheldon Battle was no match for the explosiveness of Raheem Edwards, who left the defender in his wake before rifling the ball in the net. 2-0 the score. The only notable chance for the home team fell to captain Kevin Molino, who struck the side netting.
Getting it back, Molino in the box, Molino!
The Jamaicans continued to threaten, but they couldn't find a third before the halftime whistle. In the second, a Mount Pleasant throw-in eventually led to the ball being laid off to Edwards, who guided the ball past Biggett for his second and his team's third of the evening. The team in blue and white reaped the rewards for their positive mindset in the 84th minute. Chavon Walsh found substitute Shaquille Bradford on the counter, who made it 4. Kimoni Bailey made it 5 in added-on time.
Bailey, ball on his left, Bailey!
Defence Force pulled a goal back when Kaheem Thomas blocked this clearance to then get through in on goal to find the back of the net. The game would end 5-1 in favour of Mount Pleasant, leaving Defence Force with a mountain to climb in the second leg. Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
5-1 defeat to Mount Pleasant FC in the first leg of their Concacaf Caribbean Cup semi-final, Defence Force head coach Devon Jostling conceded that the Jamaican side was both fitter and physically superior. Here's more in this story.
It was an evening to forget for Defence Force FC as they suffered a crushing 5-1 defeat to Mount Pleasant FC in the first leg of the Concacaf Caribbean Cup semi-final at the Hasely Crawford Stadium. The Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League champions were outclassed by their Jamaican opponents, leaving their hopes of reaching the final hanging by a thread. Following the match, head coach Devon Jostling admitted that his team was second best on the night.
But sometimes as coaches we have to be honest, and if I'm being honest, I think they were stronger, faster to the borders. So sometimes when you lose, you learn more. And for me, what I see is that instead of the coaching staff, the physical team, we have to do more in terms of being stronger, faster, fitter. Because if you watch overall game, right, that's when it was in terms of this first league one, you're strong on the borders. So I think we go to Jamaica, I see it as a free hit.
On the daunting task of overturning a 4-goal deficit in the second leg, Jostling remained optimistic, framing the return fixture as an opportunity rather than a burden.
I look at Jamaica as a free hit, right, meaning that we go in there with no expectation to qualify, but we will go with the attitude to try to win the game. And we know in football, funny things has happened, right? We can make mention to the PSG Barcelona game many years ago, right? But as I say, when we started out this campaign, the main objective was to get to the Concacaf Cup, and I still alive, right? And it have a second leg. So we regroup, we focus.
Defence Force will face Mount Pleasant in the second leg on October 29th in Kingston, Jamaica, needing a near-miraculous performance to keep their Concacaf Caribbean Cup dreams alive. Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.